When we started off, we started by seeing what is the information available about the logistics industry, right? What data is available. And what we found was that there is not even a very common understanding of what is the logistics industry, right? So in the survey that we did, we sort of defined what we have understood by the logistics industry. Broadly, if you think about it, there are those people who are providing the actual transport services. So there's road transport, railway transport, transport by sea, and transport by air, right? And then there are those which are providing the services at the intermediate points, which would be the container depots, right? The inland container depots, or the depots where these containers are stacked or stuffed or destuffed. Then you have parts of the industry that are providing certain services, right? So you would have freight forwarders, right? You would have warehousing. You would have the express industry. You would have the courier industry, right? So broadly, these would be the sort of players. And then you have value-added players. People say about third-party logistics, 3PL players, 4PL, 5PL. If you think about the total logistics industry, the total logistics industry right now is about 2,500 billion rupees, right? It's expected to grow at around an 11% CAGR over the next 4 years and probably get to close to 4,100 billion rupees, right? So there's a lot of growth expected. The other aspect that people write about the logistics industry is the fact that the cost of logistics, right, is much higher than what it should be. And that is because apart from the cost of these direct providers, there is also the indirect cost of logistics, which is the inventory carrying cost. What the Indian industry really needs to do is, number one, plan for growth, right? And as we know, technology is very important to be able to grow. If you want to reduce that indirect cost to the customer from inefficient logistics, right, then you really need to be able to take the whole shipment time, right, and reduce it. And you need to be able to offer the complete visibility of that shipment all the way through and reduce the uncertainty of when that good will actually reach you. And that again requires a completely new level of technology to help you with all of your operational activities. The current status is, in terms of the size, our survey has shown that it's roughly around 400 crores in terms of size, right? What it's also shown that the people who have adopted technology are really the larger players and a few of the medium-sized players. A lot of the smaller players, right, have very piecemeal technology, right? And the logistics sector is one in which you have a very large number of players, right, of different sizes, and given the reach of our country, also located geographically across. So again, if you are really looking at improving the state of the logistics industry in India, you cannot ignore the SME players. Very clearly, people are looking at enterprise management solutions, solutions that encompass all of their branches, including their partners. You clearly need to be able to do a lot of integration with your partners, right? So the use of electronic data interchange, the setting up of certain common standards by which how you will share data and the usage of those standards, I think that's very, very important. Then, of course, technologies like web, mobile, RFID, these are very enabling technologies which enable you to reach out to customers, enable you to reach out to your partners, enable you to exchange information. For an individual entity, if they were to make an investment in creating that technology, it would be a very big investment, right? And except for the largest organizations, they may not even have the expertise right? Or what are best practices and what those solutions should look like, right? So really, I think, if there's going to be a change, then you need to see more products, more platforms come up, right? I would say not just products, but even platforms, because platforms is what enables you to create a pay-for-use model, right? Some sort of a software service, and that's what enables even the SME sectors to be able to afford that and be able to use that technology. In the large organizations, the role of the CIO is pretty well defined, right? And in fact has become more strategic, right? Where they're actually involved in defining business strategy. I think in medium organizations, the CIOs are, the role is still, maybe not that well defined. And certainly smaller organizations will not be able to afford, a dedicated CIO. So it depends on various sectors in the industry.